ng Masanglamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is Cool News at 4.
Good afternoon and welcome to Cool News at 4. Let's begin with the headlines. Vice President Sara Duterte and her family ruled Davao City for decades but have not been able to solve flooding in the area. Lawmakers pointed this out as Mark counterblasts her criticism of the current administration. Tinok Party List Representative Jude Igre said Senate President Francis Escudero's observations were correct, that it is perplexing for the Vice President to call out the current administration over the recent floods when her father, former President Rodrigo Duterte, had 6 years to address the issue. Senate President Francis Escudero is correct. You have been serving for a long time there, but you failed to stop flooding in your area, Igre said in a statement over the weekend. PRRD former President Duterte was in Malacanan for 6 years. He was also a longtime mayor of Davao City. He and his children changed positions after their terms ended. He and his children were also lawmakers. They should have fixed the issue of flooding in their area, he added. Last Friday, Escudero said Vice President Duterte has the right to point out the social problems just like any other Filipino, although he found it perplexing for the second highest official to attack the current administration when her father allegedly failed to address it. One writer party list representative Ramon Rodrigo Gutierrez noted in a separate statement that there was enough funding for flood control in Davao City, particularly within the jurisdiction of Vice President Duterte's older brother, Davao City 1st District Representative Apollo Duterte. There were 51 billion pesos funds allocated to the district of Congressman Pulong in 3 years. What happened? That's a huge amount. For context, there was a 244.6 billion peso fund for flood control in 2024, but that's for the entire country, he said. Did this follow the flood control master plan? If Davao City and other parts of Mindanao were not included, they should be the ones to explain to our Davaoino and Mindanaoan brothers and sisters, he added. Alcopico Party List Representative Raul Angelo Bongkalon, meanwhile, questioned why Duterte is only airing these issues now when her position as the second highest national official would have given her a better advantage in solving the problems. Vice President Sara Duterte, who was the other half of the Unity Campaign Alliance in the 2022 polls, used to be part of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s administration as Education Secretary. She resigned from all her cabinet posts last June 19. Why are we hearing all these only now? It only shows what kind of politician she is. She will make it appear that she is an ally if it will only suit her interest, then attack when she no longer needs the use of it. She has just shown her true colors, Bongkalon said. The lawmaker further questioned why Duterte has been silent on problems surrounding the Department of Education, which she supposedly failed to solve. Did she even help our overburdened and overworked public school teachers? At one point, I can still vividly recall that she suggested holding Saturday classes only to catch up with the targeted June school calendar opening, which President Marcos politely declined, he said. Show some humility, Ms. Vice President. Your complaints could have been addressed and they could have resulted in more productive efforts if you had raised them early on. Don't make the government your punching bag, he said. When you were deputy chief, did you even attempt to improve learning competencies? Statements against Duterte came after she delivered a message to the Muslim community last Wednesday, thanking Muslim tribes for volunteering to secure her after 75 police officers were pulled out of her personal protection group. According to Duterte, it is not her security which is of importance but the well-being of the country, highlighting that the country is being ruled by people who do not fulfill their sworn duties. The Vice President likewise said the government itself admitted that there is no comprehensive flood control master plan. But lawmakers questioned Duterte's remarks. Zambales First District Representative J. K. Hun and Lawn Union First District Representative Francisco Apollo Ortica V urged the Vice President to address her absence during the height of Typhoon Karina and the Southwest monsoon's onslaught instead of speaking on these matters. Then, Lanao del Sur First District Representative Zia Alonto Adong urged Duterte not to use religion in politics, saying that he is disappointed with Duterte's statements before the Muslim community, which only leads towards this divisiveness. Duterte also drew flack for supposedly making it appear that her security was depleted when the armed forces of the Philippines said that 400 military officers were securing her. To this end, Santa Rosa City Representative Dan Fernandez noted that having such number of security personnel might already be excessive. Several media outlets, including Inquirer.net, have asked the Office of the Vice President and Representative Apollo Duterte for the comments regarding these issues, but neither of them has issued any response as of this writing. Police arrested the suspect in the rape slay of the 12-year-old girl on Sunday, August 11, a day after her naked body was found at Palak Road in Barangay Buena Vista in the city. April May Nicholas, a third grader at Buena Vista Elementary School, was found dead around 1 p.m. on August 10. Police Colonel Lucio Simangan, San Diego City Police Director, reported that the girl could have been dead for 43 hours before her body, with a crushed head and missing undergarments, was discovered. As a gesture of sympathy, teachers and students at the victim's school flew the flag at half staff, observed silence, and recited prayers during Monday's flag raising ceremony. Nicholas and her 7-year-old sibling were under the care of their aunt. The suspect, whose name is being withheld, was known to the aunt as he frequently gathered clams near their house by the river. Witnesses said the suspect used wood to crush the girl's head after allegedly raping her. He reportedly then used the wood to assault her further. The suspect claimed he committed the crime because the girl had bullied him. Investigators said the suspect would be charged with rape and homicide. Samigan has ordered increased police visibility and continuous monitoring of the crime scene. Earlier, City Councilor Arlene Jean Alvarez Reyes offered a 100,000 pesos reward for information leading to the suspect's arrest. The girl's father, Diosdado Nicolas, has called for swift justice, describing his daughter as kind and saying she dreamed of becoming successful someday. Philippine National Police Chief General Romel Marbel has ordered a stop to police officers carrying umbrellas for VIPs. Marvel issued his directive Monday, noting that such an act is not part of a police officer's job as it is degrading for a man in uniform. I want to bring back the dignity of our uniform, Marvel said in a speech after a flag ceremony in Camcrame, Quezon City. I am not prohibiting that. Every time we have an anniversary, we see police in uniform, especially those with the rank of corporal or those in lower ranks carrying umbrellas. He added, "That's not right. That's not the job of the police. Let's respect our uniform. Let's show that we are the people with dignity and not a mere person. We are police, not a bodyguard, not a driver, and not a helper. We are not paid lackeys, we are police," Marbel also stressed. The PNP previously received flack over matters concerning the treatment of VIPs. In May, 9 officials and members of the PNP's Special Action Force were sacked after 2 of them were found moonlighting as bodyguards of a Chinese VIP. Months before that, a police officer was relieved for stopping traffic flow at a busy intersection along Commonwealth Avenue for an unidentified VIP. But the police officer was later reinstated as Quezon City Mayor John Belmonte argued that rank and file personnel should not be the scapegoats for the higher-ups' accountability. It should be the one who ordered him to stop the traffic flow that should be investigated. It also turned out that the involved police officer stopped the traffic flow because he mistakenly heard the word VP and assumed Vice President Sara Duterte was the VIP. And the Department of Health must be aggressive in fighting leptospirosis amid a possible surge of the recent floods, Iloilo First District Representative Janet De Garden said on Monday. In a statement, Garden said there were alleged lapses on the part of the DOH as doxycycline, an antibiotic commonly used to prevent leptospirosis, was not delivered in provinces before the flooding occurred. The problem is, we have funds for free doxycycline, but it is unavailable in some areas. This is a repeated appeal to the DOH, but it seems they are just listening to these issues, but no response has been made, said Garden, a former health secretary. There should be aggressive action. Send the medicines to areas where these should have been prepositioned in the first place, so these would be accessible, she added. Garin also said the DOH should treat the rising cases of leptospirosis as a call to improve its information dissemination and campaign, particularly on the disease when flooding is imminent. This is a wake-up call to the Department of Health to be more aggressive because during these times when fake news spreads, misinformation should be taboo to the department because people are sometimes affected by misleading statements, Guardian said. Last Friday, the DOH ordered all hospitals in the National Capital Region NCR to activate their leptospirosis surge capacity plan to better respond to the rising number of cases. The department also directed all DOH hospitals to utilize common referral forms made available online and update the names and contact details of their referral focal persons with the Health Emergency Management Bureau's Operations Center by August 13. Garin also said the National Kidney and Transplant Institute has already experienced an influx of leptospirosis cases, with 67 patients admitted, including 11 in the pediatric section, as of August 9. Reports said the NKTI's emergency room is also at overcapacity, forcing it to convert its gymnasium into the leptospirosis ward for 40 patients, while plans to open other ward for 50 more are ongoing. Government said the proper response would have been to ask individuals who waded through flood waters, even those without wounds, to take doxycycline within 72 hours after exposure. The DOH said there were 67 cases of leptospirosis from July 14 to July 27, bringing the total number of to 1,424 this year, with 162 of the patients dying. It is now 4:12 in the afternoon, and we will have more national, international, and entertainment headlines coming up right here on koolNews at 4. So again, it is now 4:12 in the afternoon, and stick around, we will be right back. Welcome back. Let's get into the headlines from around the world now as Russia on Monday ordered more evacuations in a region bordering Ukraine as it battled to contain an unprecedented push onto its territory by Kiev forces. Ukraine last week sent troops into Russia's border region of Krusuk in the largest cross-border operation by Kiev since Moscow launched its offensive more than 2 years ago. The assault, which has sent tens of thousands of people fleeing, marked the most significant attack by a foreign army on Russian territory since World War II. A top Ukraine official told AFP that the operation was aimed at stretching Moscow troops and destabilizing the country after months of slow Russian advance across the front line. The assault appeared to catch the Kremlin off guard, with Moscow's army rushing in reserve troops, tanks, aviation, artillery, and drones in a bid to quash it. Despite the efforts, the army on Sunday conceded that Ukraine had been able to penetrate its territory by up to 3 kilometers 20 miles in place. In the daily briefing on the situation in the western Krusuk region, the defense ministry said it had foiled attempts by Ukraine's forces to break through deep into Russian territory using armored vehicles. But it said some of those forces were near the villages of Topino and Obshchi Kolodes, some 25 kilometers and 30 kilometers from the Russia-Ukraine border. A Ukraine security official told AFP on quotation on Monday that the aim is to stretch the positions of the enemy, to inflict maximum losses, and to destabilize the situation in Russia as they are unable to protect their own border. The Ukraine officials also said Russian claims that Kiev had deployed 1,000 troops were a serious underestimate. It is a lot more, he said. Thousands. On Monday, Russia ordered fresh evacuations in the region, moving people from the neighboring region of Belgorod. The enemy is active on the border of the Krasnoyarsk district. We have just left Gladkov said on Telegram. For the health and security of our population, we're beginning to move people who live in Krasnoyarsk to safer places. Russia's defense ministry said on Monday that its air defense systems had destroyed 18 Ukrainian drones, including 11 over the Kursk region. On Sunday, each country blamed the other for a fire at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant in southern Ukraine occupied by Russian forces, though both sides and the UN's nuclear watchdog said there was no sign of a nuclear leak. No impact has been reported for nuclear safety, said a statement from the International Atomic Energy Agency, which has experts at the site. Both Kiev and Moscow said there had been no rise in radiation levels. In a later statement, the IAEA said it had requested that its team get immediate access to the cooling tower to assess the damage. A Moscow-installed official, Vladimir Rogov, said the blaze has been completely extinguished in a Telegram post Monday. Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022 and has waged an unrelenting campaign, occupying swatches of the east and south and subjecting European cities to daily missile and drone attacks. After recapturing large areas in 2022, Kiev has largely been on the back foot, struggling with manpower and arms supplies. Russia said Saturday that more than 76,000 civilians had been evacuated from border areas, with more leaving Sunday. Russia's rail operator has put on emergency trains from Krasnoyarsk to Moscow, around 450 kilometers away, for those looking to flee. It's scary to have helicopters flying over your head all the time, said Marina, refusing to give her surname, who arrived by train in the Russian capital on Sunday. When it was possible to leave, I left. Krasnoyarsk regional governor Alexei Simonov considered on Sunday that the situation was difficult. Across the border in Ukraine's Sumy region, from where Ukraine launched the incursion, AFP journalists on Sunday saw dozens of armored vehicles with a white triangle, the insignia, apparently being used to identify Ukraine military hardware deployed in the attack. At an evacuation center in the regional capital of Sumy, 70-year-old retired mental worker Mykola, who had fled his village of Kihotin, some 10 kilometers from the Russian border, nevertheless welcomed Ukraine's push into Russia. Let's let them find out what it's like, he told AFP. They don't understand what war is. Let them have a taste of it. Analysts think Kiev may have launched the assault to try to relieve pressure on its troops in other parts of the sprawling front line. but the Ukrainian officials said the pressure in the east continues. They are not pulling back troops from the area, even if the intensity of Russian attacks has gone down a little bit. The Ukrainian official said he expected Russia would in the end manage to stop the incursion. Ukraine was bracing for retaliation with a large-scale missile attack, including on decision-making centers in Ukraine, the official added. And now let's get into the showbiz entertainment happenings as Mon Fonfiado is in the fighting form as he filed a criminal case against a content creator named Eliette days after he called out the latter for making up an encounter between them in a grocery store. On his Facebook page on Monday, August 12th, Confiado lodged a complaint against Eliette, reportedly known as Jeff Jacinto, at an FBI cybercrime division branch. He said his complaint should serve as a lesson to Eliette. The actor earlier made headlines after Eliette claimed on Facebook that Confiado allegedly didn't pay for the 15 chocolate bars he bought and was rude to a cashier staff. This claim was immediately debunked by the senior high star hours later. Dear Mr. Jeff Leonori Bonilla Jacinto alias Eliette, I hope this will serve as a lesson to you and everyone. Using someone's name and image without consent is a crime. Not all jokes are funny and for everyone. Jokes are supposed to make people happy and not ruin others, he said. Confiado stressed that he's someone who would never get involved in PD fights, saying he quietly fulfills his jobs as an actor. I am a quiet person. I was never involved in any squattable throughout my life. I never had an enemy or was ever involved in PD fights. I quietly fulfill my job as an actor. As an actor, I ensure my name is protected as it helps me do my job well. However, I was shocked when you used my name and image for a joke that you referred to as a copy pasta. The problem is that even though that it's just a joke or meme, not everyone is familiar with these kinds of Facebook posts. And finally, the long-standing controversy over K-pop stars receiving preferential treatment during their mandatory military service has resurfaced following BTS member Suga's drunk driving incident. Currently serving as a public service agent, Suga was booked and is under police investigation for driving an electric scooter while intoxicated. In response, the military manpower administration released a press statement Thursday addressing the incident and promising to strengthen education to ensure social service agents comply with regulations during their service. The MMA is also committed to rigorously managing and supervising these agents. However, skepticism surrounds the MMA's promised measures as numerous celebrities have faced trouble while serving the military terms as social service agents. Last year, rapper Nafla was accused of frequently being absent from work while fulfilling his service days as a public service agent. In 2016, Park Yo-jun of TVXQ was accused of sexual assault at the nightlife establishment while serving as a social service agent, and actor Lee Min-ki faced similar accusations while serving as a public service worker. Despite punishments for those violating military law, K-pop stars continue to cause issues, leading to increased demands for stricter control over celebrities enjoying favoritism as public service agents. And that will be it for koolNews at 4. As always, you can get in touch with us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. And we will be back later with koolNews at 6 and koolNews Prime Time at 9. Until then, I am Carlos. Good afternoon.